Hey everybody, it's Brock Otterbacher, Creative Director of Toys and Collectibles here at Mondo. We haven't done one of these in a while, but I think this is the perfect time for it. We've just introduced for pre-order our new Iron Giant mecha figure, and I want to kind of walk through the differences of this figure to our original one. So I just want to point out this original Iron Giant here. This is an unpainted early sample from many years ago. Just so you can see visually you see the difference of what I'm talking about, the one we're selling right now and then the old one. Also because I can abuse this one and not worry about paint getting scratched or chipped or anything like that. So you'll notice a couple of goofy things like the loose fingers that weren't part of the original product, but I think my points here will be hopefully made pretty well. First point of difference, as you can notice, is the size. The original Iron Giant we put out was 16 inches tall. The newer one here is 12.5 inches tall, give or take. And the reason for this is because Iron Giant, this one represents the first in our line of Mondo Mecha figures, which are our line of articulated robot figures. We'll be doing characters like this, Transformers characters and others that are already robots, so we're not really reinterpreting them much or very little anyway. In the case of Iron Giant, we're doing him screen accurate. And then the other part of the mecha line is where we're taking characters you do know, like Captain America, Batman, Spider-Man, Black Panther, etc., and reinterpreting them as like giant Japanese influenced robots, drawn from many different influences from anime, manga, all that kind of fun stuff. But let's focus on Iron Giant here. I want to walk you through a couple of fun things here. So first thing I want to talk about is some of the added articulation. So back in the day when we had the original Iron Giant, his head basically moved, right to left. He had a little bit of swivel there because it's basically on a big light bulb there and his lights lit up, but that's pretty much it. And because we had the battery pack that went into the neck and then the button was in the back, we had wires that went to the neck, all that kind of stuff. That really limited articulation. With this one now, again, this is a prototype, so I'm going to try to show you best I can on this thing, but see, you get all kinds of range of motion here with him. The other thing is with the original Iron Giant is that we had a head one switched out, which had the kind of the battle eyes and the teeth in it, and then you had this version of it. With our new version, you can actually insert teeth. If you might not be able to see there, but there's some keys in there where you can actually insert top and bottom teeth in there, so you can have any of the various heads that come with this version will have interchangeable teeth, so you can give them smiling or chomping ability. Another point of difference is while we had in the original we had articulation up here, he turned around. This one we maintain that, and we've also given an extra point of articulation right there at the waist. It's not much, but it just adds just a little bit of just a little bit more to it, a little bit dynamic, and you can kind of get them just in a little more positions there. The hips are pretty much the same as the original one. Get in there. Pretty much range, with just a little bit more range of motion there. Next thing I'm going to walk you through is the elbow articulation. So in the original Iron Giant, you were able to, it went like that. And because of the nature of this forearm here, it doesn't really go much beyond that. So some of the poses that were in the movie, like there's a scene where he like puts his hands up by his head and kind of is being silly, you couldn't actually do with the model as designed. They basically kind of cheated it a little bit in the film in order to get that extra bend there. All right, in our new figure on his elbow, you can still bend it up there, but then you can extend it out just a little bit there. Click there, see there, and what happens is you can turn it and he goes all the way up there. So now you can get poses that are more closer to the film where you couldn't do that before. And you can still switch it out for the gun arm by clicking 1, which is the extendo elbow, and 2, and then you can slide on the gun arm on either the right side or the left side. Another point of difference is the knees. On the original figure, you had the knee that was right there. It just went that far and that was pretty much it. You couldn't even really rotate this part. On the new one, you can rotate this all the way around. This is actually a perfect demonstration. And while the knee still goes up there, you actually can go extend the knee out, so that way you get actually a crouching position. So that is a pose you could not get with the original one, actually crouching down in there. A couple other items here with the feet. The original one had this. You had, up and down, the toe went like that. That's pretty much it. With this one now, you get the same thing, you get all that here, and now you get some ankle swivel here, so you get a little bit more dynamic poses there too. One other big change we have is with the hands. Now on the original one, as you can see here, they weren't as loose as this, and there's a finger missing there, but they were, you know, all articulated, but that was just a point where it was fairly easy to break them. We didn't have too many breakages, but I know a few people had that happen to them. And if we're going to scale this figure down, we wanted to make sure we were going to have that, so we included just, you know, 6 different pairs of hands that were all different, you know, the different poses you'd want. So you just, you know, really just pull them out and switch them out, kind of like a normal kind of action figure of this era. There's a lot of dynamic stuff, you know, you can do with this. With the exclusive version, you can, you know, hold the car, you have fists, you have thumbs up, all kinds of fun stuff with that one. One of the other things we've also added is this little kind of swivel ball joint here at the wrist. Gives you just a little bit more dynamic hand positioning there. And with the hand itself, you're going to be able to go like that. So each of the hands will articulate like that. And one additional point of articulation is, it's subtle, but right here, is you can actually rotate the knee around. On the previous one, you had to actually, in order to move this, you had to like turn this away from the knee, so it didn't allow you to bend this while this was turned, but we've kind of fixed that here by doing that, so you can kind of get them in there. So just a little subtle change there. And finally, you know, this is still a work in progress. I mean, all this articulation is going to be there, but we're always constantly improving, finding things, little details we missed. For example, you know, right here on both sides, both feet and both sides, are little bolts that are missing there. We're adding those to the final product. With the car, which is part of the Mondo exclusive version, we have the model here with a windshield in it, but what's actually going to happen with this piece is we're going to get a little bit more accurate to the film. In the film, it doesn't actually have a windshield, it just has the frame, so the final product will be, the windshield won't be there, it'll just be the frame around it. It'll look more like a proper junk car, Hogarth in there riding in there. So those are the big differences between the two figures. One of the other things that we kind of changed, obviously we left out the lights and sound. Reason for this was, one, for costing, to try to get this down in price a little bit, and also so we can add in some of that extra articulation where wires weren't getting in the way. Look for more updates coming from us later this year on not only this figure, but some of the other mecha figures and a lot of other collectibles that we're doing. And thank you very much. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.